Hello guys, welcome back. Something a little quick for you this morning. Good God, it's my hair. I don't think my conditioner likes me. Um, I met a Viking moth yesterday. Let me explain. I've been going in and out all day, and I come in and I lift up my blanket. I think that's what I did because I was sitting here reading, and there's this moth that just flies out of nowhere. Flies up, flies up. Goes to the ceiling, and I don't want to hurt a moth or something. I just want to try to get it out of the house. But I turned on all the lights, couldn't find it. Turn off all the lights, open the door because I figure, well, they're attracted to light. She'll go to the door. Well, that may have been a he, or it may have been because later I looked up moth, and it's about faith and spirituality and everything. And I'm like, okay. And Odin said, what could I do to convince you I've always been God? And I'm thinking of all these dramatic things he could do. I'm getting a bath ready, and I turn around, and there's this moth, and she's exactly at eye level, which is, pretty unusual and low for a moth to be, because if you've ever had a moth in your house, they go like right up to the ceiling. And she was resting against the door that I've painted gold, because she obviously thought she was invisible. And I say female because I've done research. I gently cupped her in my hand, I took her and I put her outside so she can go be a Viking moth. And that's actually not the name of the species. The name of the species is a gem moth, but they like to cross the sea. And they like to go to Iceland, apparently. So, little Viking moth, just in reverse, I guess. And they like to cross the sea and they like to travel. And I'm like, that's definitely an Odin style moth. But you'll notice when Odin gives you a symbol, it's not just like this really take it at the surface level, oh faith, because the faith part wasn't helping me at all. I'm like, what's he saying? Just have faith? It really wasn't helping me. And then I looked it up a little more this morning, and it was like, oh, moth means you don't feel satisfied. And this particular species is called the gem, and they're like all over the United States, so you probably have them too. They're this really beautiful moth. And, well, I think they're pretty. They look like they belong in the woods, is what they look like. And I let the moth go, and then this morning I find out that they are very good at flying from the north to the south part of their territory, and they like to explore, they like to fly over the sea. I'm like, the little tiny Viking moths, he picked the perfect species to send. So exactly what it means, I don't really know, but I'm like little tiny Viking moths, that just go and fly over the sea because they're that strong of flyers. And when I had her in my hand, I had my hand cupped real gentle because I wasn't trying to hurt her. And she was just tumbling about my hand. She wasn't hurting me or anything. She's a moth that can't bite, so far as I know. And she was just tumbling around in my hand, and I let her go, and I let her go on the mailbox and then just, take her and chuck her outside. I let her go in the mailbox so she'd be okay. And she flew off. She was happy. She went off to go exploring and be a little Viking lady and go find a little Viking male, make more of the species or whatever she's doing. Because this is a time of year when they're really prolific. So it might not have been as exciting as, say, going in there for some people, I think we start to think that it has to be like we go in and we find a tiger moth or a swallowtail or something from South America, and this was a very common animal, and sometimes they can be a little easy to dismiss because you're so used to seeing them, but this was definitely Odin talking. So yeah, and Loki's happy because he's like, you found it, now it's going to be called the Viking moth, and nobody's going to remember they're called gems. So yeah, they're called gems, they're called the gem, and you can look them up. And it doesn't really tell you enough about this moth because now I want to know more. I know that they migrate and they can end up in Iceland. In fact, if you go to Wikipedia, they have I believe it's the Icelandic flag. So it's super early. I haven't even had breakfast or anything, but I thought I would share the Viking moth with you before I forget, because I'll forget, and then later on I'll be like, that didn't mean anything. The poor gods really have to try with me. They really do. So if you guys like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.